Imagine if you loved your children and firmly believed that you knew the best way to raise them and take care of them. And because of that, your entire family, your kids, all 10 of them in this case, were literally kidnapped by cops and taken away from you. Yeah, I just wanted to call and let you guys know. I heard about a recent incident where 10 children were kidnapped by your office. And I just want to
I
let...
haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, well, that's what I keep hearing in the news, and it's very disgusting, and it's an offensive crime.
We don't go in and take kids without orders.
Okay.
So there was a reason, or yes, there's more behind the story.
There's more behind the story? Okay. I hope there is, because this is not the first time that the feds or or government officials in general have gone around and seizing parents' children under so-called, oh, they had drugs or their lifestyle was different. So I just want to let you know my opinion. I am one of many very angry people because just because somebody has a different lifestyle doesn't mean that they're criminal.
The lifestyle had nothing to do with it.
Okay. Well, I just want to let you know my opinion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Essentially, Ellsworth believes that the arrest took place because of the parents' choice of unschooling their children and because of their simple way of life that some would call backwards. Unschooling, the radical notion that you do not force your kids into these prison concentration camps, otherwise known as mainstream public schools. The radical notion that instead of forcing your children to stuff their minds with irrelevant, boring garbage they have no interest in and will probably never use, and if they can't pay attention, you drug them up with prescription medications, ADHD, Ritalin medication. That's what unschooling is. The radical notion that you love your children. You don't treat them like they're prisoner slaves for corporate America, because that's really all mainstream schooling is. They're factories that process future workers for the mainstream workplace. So I am just disgusted, and this is not the first time that the feds, the social worker mafia, no offense to social workers who actually do a good job, a rational job, but the idea that it's the business of others to determine how you raise your kids. Well, yeah, if you're molesting your kids, if you're abusing your kids, then it's the business of other people. But if you're not forcing your kids into these fucking public school concentration camps, that's no reason to seize your kids. And there's a history of the feds going after people who live off the grid or people who have alternative lifestyles. In other words, people who don't conform and submit their soul onto the conveyor belt factory of corporate America. You know, I find it disgustingly ironic that unschooling is so dangerous. Ooh, yeah. People say things like, "Oh, so what? These kids aren't in school. What are they doing all day? What do you got them chopping? You got them chopping up, logs in the wood, doing all this manual labor. What do you support? Child labor?" It's like, you know what? Getting some physical exercise in a world where obesity is fucking spreading like wildfire isn't that bad. And you know what? I find it hard to believe that it's any worse than the prison of fucking boredom that the average child is put into these mainstream public school systems. The mainstream public school system might as well be child labor, but it's just offset by 18 years. Because what it does is it trains you to be a worker slave when you graduate at the age of 18 or so. So this idea that schools are child labor, just look at how laborious it is for the average student to focus. Okay, they might not be physically strained, but they're mentally fucking strained. Their souls are strained. Their souls are strained by the burden of boredom, the mundane atmosphere of being forced to memorize and regurgitate useless, irrelevant shit they have no interest in. You want to talk about child labor? How about the labor you're putting on the soul of children when you force them into these public school factories?
Success without school. Think outside the classroom. My new book shatters the matrix of the school system, exposing the brainwashing done to you and illuminating the path to success. From the truth about intelligence to surviving in a fast-paced, unprecedented economic era, this book is my full crystallization, breaking the chains on your mind and opening you to what's possible when you think outside the classroom.